take a stand, shook up the views of the common man, and the love train rides coast to coast. TJ's the man we love the most. Could you be squeaky clean and smash the hope of democracy? As the headline says, you're free to choose. There's an egg on your face and mud on your shoes. One of these days they're gonna call it the blues. Sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds. I spy tears in my eye, the look to the skies for some kind of divine intervention. Food goes to waste, so nice to eat, so nice to taste. Politician granny with your hot ideals, have you no idea how the majority feels? So without love and a promised land, we're fools to the rules of the government's plan. Kick out the style, bring out the jams. Sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, the birds and the bees, my girlfriend and me in love. Feel the pain, talk about it. If you're a worried man, oh, then shout about it. Open your hearts and feel about it. Open your minds and think about it. Everyone, go on and read about it. And everyone, oh, go on and scream about it. Oh, everyone. Oh, everyone. Oh, everyone. Go on and read about it. Read in the books and the crannies and the nooks. There are books to read. Sowing the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds of love. Mr. England, sowing the seeds of love. Time to eat all your words, swallow your pride. Open your eyes. Time to read all your words. Swallow your pride. Open your eyes. Time, we need to stand and shock up the views of the common man. And the love train rides coast to coast. Every minute of every hour, I love a sunflower. And I believe in the power. Seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, an end to need all the politics and greed. sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love, sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love, sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love, sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love, sowing the seeds of love.
It's days like these that are a product of sowing the seeds of love, and then we're just going to keep on doing it, right? But good afternoon, everybody. I'm the Reverend Patricia Guthman-Haresh, but you can call me Pat. It's a lot to say. And it's my great honor and privilege and joy to welcome you all this afternoon to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster. Right, I said it right? I'm learning on this most venerable occasion. If you are here in the pews or joining on Zoom to witness and be a part of the ordination of Elizabeth Haralam Shuba, you're in the right place. Welcome all from near and far, colleagues, friends, co-workers, family. Thank you for being part of this ordination, but it's a celebration, even with all of its formalities. The honoring of Elizabeth's work, vocation, passion, compassion. She's a child of this place, all grown up now, but we decided we're still growing up, she and I, yeah. Such a journey to come to this place and time right here and now. And I know she's grateful for all who are here from when she was in the cradle to now, for all of you joining here and on Zoom. Thank you for being here. None of us can do it alone, right? So let us center ourselves in this sacred space and acknowledge the truth of the land beneath us. We are gathered here on land once inhabited by people known as the Susquehannock and Conestoga. We acknowledge the violent legacies of genocide, displacement, and settlement that led us to being here today. And we remind ourselves to live humbly in relation with the land and with all of the indigenous people still living and loving on this continent. Many indigenous people will say, all our relatives. May we live into this truth and this aspiration together. And now it is time to light our chalice. I'd like to welcome Alex and Louise. Or Louis. Am I right, Louise? Okay. Okay. Now, are one of you reading? Yes. You're welcome to use the lectern and the chalice. Yes. Why don't you get to the microphone, or we'll get it to you. Wonderful. You can't do it alone. He needed you.
It takes a spark, it takes fuel, it takes air, and it takes a container to hold them all. It is only with all of these that we make fire. It takes a call, it takes learning and experience, it takes love, and it takes a community to hold them all. It is only with all of these that we make a minister. Today we light our flaming chalice, and today we ordain Elizabeth Haralam Shuba to the Unitarian Universalist ministry.
You just put it back. Well done, thank you. So if you will, rise as you're able in spirit or body. to sing hymn number 102. It's in the gray hymnal, We the Heirs of Many Ages. As is our custom, we will take an offering during our ordinations. And today, it is my honor to say that Elizabeth has selected Planned Parenthood of Keystone to be the recipient, so the baskets may be passed. We will sing the hymn that you had printed in your order service a little bit later on. Thank you for being flexible. And thank you all for your generous gifts. And it is the time for words from the Shuba family. So you're welcome to come on up. And we have either the microphone or the lectern.
You can come up together. You can come up together.
Do what she says, right?
Hello. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Hi. I'm Elizabeth, daughter. Or son, whatever. Okay. Anyone who knows my mother can tell you two things about her. One, if there's something she wants to do, you cannot stop her. You could ask her politely to change her mind, or sternly tell her to change her course of action. But Elizabeth doesn't care. If she's set on something, it's going to get done. Secondly, she is always willing to meet someone where they are. No matter how closely her viewpoints align with theirs, she has an ability to level with them without judgment. I think these two qualities of my mom have helped her get to where she is on this day. She is kind, compassionate, and has been determined to get to this point for a very long time. A story about my mom that brings to mind her compassion is when my first girlfriend dumped me. I was distraught. I fell into a really bad depressive spiral. I barely ate or slept. I barely left the basement. I would cry on the floor for hours. It was a mess. And my mom was always there for me. No matter how many times I brushed off her help or snapped at her, she knew I was hurting, and she made it clear that she would be by my side as long as I needed her. Overall, I realize I may be a hard person to meet where I am. I'm neurodivergent, mentally ill. For instance, I'll get so deeply invested in subjects that it will become difficult for me to hold a conversation outside of them. I get really into things. I also have a strange amorphous relationship with gender in that I feel like both a man and a woman on some days, neither on others. But again, Elizabeth doesn't care. I have never, ever felt judged by my mom. She has welcomed every hyperfixation and pronoun change with open arms. She has made me feel seen, heard, and loved for who I am. I know that no matter who I choose to be, she will always be there for me. And I am so proud that she has chosen this path so that she can be there for others when they need her. Through her seminary studies, I have seen her grow. I can best describe the change in her as a softening. To me, she has grown gentler, like a stone being smoothed by the ocean tide. I think that with the many things she's learned, she has learned to wait and listen. Before she has gone on this journey, conversations with her could feel fast-paced and strategy-filled, like she knew what she wanted to say and she had a time limit to get it out. But now, she's much more likely to wait and listen, and then absorb the information that you give her. I know that I can always count on her to hit me with an honest question about how I feel. This quality in her makes her an excellent person to fill the role of reverend. No matter who a person is, she has the ability to stand with them on even ground and support them to be a pillar for them to lean on. She knows her stuff. I don't think I've ever personally met someone who has access to so many Bible fast facts. In conclusion, I really love my mom. She's the coolest person on the face of the planet. If I could pick anyone to be my mom, I would hands down pick her. She even let me make her clerical robe that she's wearing today. I got to sew and embroider the whole thing, and she let me go crazy with all my creative energy. She wears it really well, and she looks like a floral wizard, and I'm so happy I got to do that for her. My mom makes me feel safe, loved, and understood, and I'm so grateful she found a path that lets her do that for the community as well. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Shuba. Elizabeth is my mother. I have been around for her entire journey to ordination, and I can't be more proud of her for reaching this milestone. I cannot imagine a better application of my mom's skills than ministry. For my whole life, my mom has been a lighthouse which I can rely on to guide me when I feel lost. I believe she has 3 qualities which makes her a good minister. First, Elizabeth has a vast wisdom which helps her see problems from different angles. I often have trouble seeing the silver lining in situations, but I know my mom can always find the shred of good in bleak. Additionally, Elizabeth has a keen sense of empathy. I have never been able to hide my emotions from her, as she can always tell how I am feeling from the look on my face. Although maligned in the moment, over time, I've come to appreciate it as it has helped me to recognize and be true to my own feelings. Finally, Elizabeth's greatest ministerial quality is her righteous sense of justice. Her morality is so developed that she has no qualms tussling with institutions of power much larger than herself. These qualities have had a large impact on me, and I try to utilize these values that she's instilled throughout my entire life. Looking back on my upbringing, I can see she has trained her ministerial skills long before she found her calling. With all of this, I would like to say congratulations to Elizabeth for this monumentous achievement, and congratulations to God for placing her on earth at the time she is needed most. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. About 25 years ago, I stood at this same spot in this beautiful church in the presence of many of you who are here again today and exchanged wedding vows with Elizabeth. My spoken vows that day were largely inaudible due to my uncontrollable sobbing. This type of emotional display came to be known amongst our friends as pulling a Shuba. And so I may or I may not pull a Shuba today. Either way is fine. We'll see what happens. That cool spring day in 1997 was the beginning of our married life together. We stayed in Lancaster. Our families and jobs were here, and Lancaster was familiar and comfortable, and we couldn't find a reason to live anyplace else. In the years that followed, we were proud to introduce Sydney and Sam into the world. Both were brought up in the UUCL and attended the co-op school right next door. Elizabeth and I settled into our new identities as parents and did our best to create a happy, loving home. And I think we were pretty successful with that. As Sid and Sam grew older, Elizabeth and I started to look ahead. Who would we become when we were not full-time parents? It was a time of great introspection, both exciting and a little terrifying as we worked to establish what our future selves would look like. Well, one day Elizabeth said she was thinking about going back to school, to seminary, to earn a Master's of Divinity in the hopes of becoming a hospital chaplain. Now, by this time, I knew Elizabeth well enough to know that this was not a passing whim. She hadn't thought that up, that morning. By the time she was able to talk about it, she would have been chewing on this for weeks. And, in her head, lining up all the steps that she would need to take to achieve the goal of becoming a chaplain. And then, when she mentioned it to me, she was not asking me for permission, but she was merely laying out her plan in the hopes that I would see the wisdom of it in the same way that she did. And it was a wise decision. Like many people, I did not really know what a chaplain was. I did not grow up in a religious household, and terms like chaplain, priest, reverend, they all seemed like several ways of saying the same thing. But as I learned more about what a chaplain does, it was readily apparent that Elizabeth was perfectly suited for that role. Elizabeth has an innate ability to read a social situation, to feel who is in crisis, and to use that empathy to walk with them on a difficult part of life's journey. And this was not a taught skill. Elizabeth has done this as long as I have known her, with family, with friends, and with total strangers in need. And this empathy is what makes her a very good chaplain and a very good minister. During Elizabeth's years in seminary and her journey toward ordination, I learned a lot as well. From her time in seminary, I learned about the many differences between Unitarian Universalism and Christianity. And Elizabeth's struggle to define her UU theology and effectively communicate that theology to a Christocentric seminary, It was a struggle, but the way she carried through with it was very inspiring. I also learned a lot about social justice and how to recognize the inequalities that still exist, as well as appreciate the privileges that I was born with. I'm so proud to be up here with my two favorite children and Elizabeth, and I'm so proud to have been a part of this journey as Elizabeth's official proofreader, chef, personal assistant, friend, and just general support staff. I'm proud to have learned enough about chaplaincy to use those same skills with Elizabeth when school, work, and life threaten to overwhelm her. Sometimes somebody needs to chaplain the chaplains. So this ordination marks the end of Elizabeth's journey to become a chaplain and a community minister for Unitarian Universalism. And from this day forth, she is a chaplain, is a minister, and continues to be my wife, my best friend, and the love of my life. Cheers to you, Elizabeth.
There was a reason why the Shubas gave us the sermon, yes. Thank you. Thank you for being the chaplain's chaplain. We appreciate that. And my husband never had the nerve to proofread. He said, don't make me do this. Yeah. So, if you will indulge the minister, I think we should sing after the act of ordination. I think the minister was working off an old draft of the order of service. So if, Fred, if you would come forward, and if we do the moment now. Yeah. Okay, you can do it. You can lean on Fred if you need to.
Well, that's certainly a hard act to follow. Within the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the authority to ordain lies wholly with each individual congregation. The act of ordination is a cause both for celebration and commitment. As church and minister join in a long lineage of leaders, lay and professional, who have served our faith in helping to make the world more whole. We come together this afternoon to ordain Elizabeth Haralam Shuba into the Unitarian Universalist ministry. Elizabeth, are you prepared at this time to be ordained?
I am.
Will the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster please rise in body or spirit and repeat what is in your order of service with me. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster, do hereby ordain you, Elizabeth Haralam Shuba, to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. Wherever you are called to serve, may you minister from your whole self, heart, mind, body, and soul. May you always speak the truth as you know it, with courage and wisdom, encourage spiritual growth and deepening, celebrate the mystery and wonder of life, help bear witness to the moral and ethical concerns of our times, share the many joys and sorrows of our human condition, embody the principles of our faith, and above all, serve the world with compassion and love. Thank you. You can remain standing, actually, because you'll have another part in a moment. Will Elizabeth's family, friends, and colleagues now rise in body or spirit and join in an affirmation of ordination? Elizabeth,
You have touched our lives in many ways.
You have followed your call to ministry, walking a path of pilgrimage, and we have witnessed both your perseverance and your celebration of life. Keep walking forward, remembering that balance comes from walking. With joy and pride, acknowledge your call to ministry and affirm your ordination by this congregation.
With humbleness, gratitude, and a deep sense of joy, I accept this ministry to which you ordain me.
We celebrate your presence among us now as a Unitarian Minister. May your ministry be blessed and be a blessing.
If you would remain and let us now sing, I think it's very fitting. I need you to survive.
I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is their will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is their will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are
if you would lead us in prayer.
So what I'd like to start with is just a bit of a Buddhist meditation. So this is a very traditional Buddhist meditation, and kind of keeping with the theme that we have going today, I've decided that we would do what's called a loving kindness meditation. So generally, when we start meditating, the most important thing is to sit up straight in your chair, a little straighter than you normally would if you were just relaxing, kind of feeling the weight of your body in space. Take a few breaths, a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One more. Deep breath in and out. So, with loving kindness meditation, it's usually recommended you start with somebody who's extremely dear to you. And traditionally, this means yourself. But for some people, thinking about yourself in that way can be hard. So if that doesn't feel right for you, try to think of someone who's always been kind to you, or that's really easy to love. And this can be a person in your life, or this could even be a pet or someone else who's beloved to you. And generally what we do when we offer loving kindness to them is we use three phrases. We try to bring them to mind and then say, "May you be safe." And just take a deep breath. May you be safe. May you be free of physical suffering. Take a breath. May you be free from mental suffering. Finally, may you be easy. Try to hold them in your mind and just repeat that to yourself. Also notice how it feels inside you right now by doing that. May you be safe. May you be free from physical suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be easy. And when you're ready, you can let that person go. The next part of the meditation is to call up someone that you don't know well. Someone who you've maybe seen, encounter in your life, but you don't have a strong relationship with them. So call this person to mind. We usually call this a neutral person. And we're going to do the same thing, kind of bring them to your mind and say, "May you be safe." May you be free from physical suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be easy. Try to hold them in your mind and say the words again. May you be safe. May you be free from physical suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be easy. can let them go. Then, if you would like, you can pick somebody who's more challenging, who has a relationship that's not so easy. It doesn't have to be someone you have strong aversive feelings towards, but just maybe somebody who's annoying. And we're going to do the same thing. Bring them to mind. May you be safe. May you be free from physical suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be easy. Do one more round. May you be safe. May you be free from physical suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be easy. Try to hold on to this feeling. You can now let this person pass from your mind. And in general, whenever we do meditations, we like to dedicate the merit of this practice to all beings who are suffering in all realms, so that the good we've created and the merit, in Buddhist terms, is not held within, but it's actually given out. Thank you.
Now you can come over here. Okay. Thank you so much, Andy. So now this whole group of ladies are going to have a few things to say to Elizabeth. Right? Right, here we go. Hey, Rev. That be you? Oh, The reading this morning said, it takes a spark, it takes fuel, it takes air, and now I'm going to give you a charge, right? You and I talked about growing up you, and that it let us be who we are and live right into it. So may those roots always hold you close. And we talked about it really was a foundation. And because of that foundation, wings, we can go free, right? Knowing we have that resting beneath us. Free to be the minister and chaplain you know you are and are still and will always be becoming. Remember to take care of your whole self. Whatever you do to keep your well filled, I know you try. Yeah? Does she do a pretty good job trying to keep her well? They say yes, awesome. You know, if I was Rachel Maddow, I'd say hydrate and eat your Wheaties, right? But maybe some people shouldn't be eating Wheaties. I don't know. But you need to hydrate and eat right and rest and be sure to laugh each day and find downtime and hug those two-leggeds and four-leggeds in your life, right? Personally, I think it takes great courage to be a chaplain. You come to each door, and when you open it, you don't know what's going to be there. You don't know what lies in wait, no matter what the staff has told you. You might hear things they didn't tell you about, the fears that weren't shared with them, or other family dynamics going on, right? So to me, as a parish minister, I always have great reverence for those who choose chaplaincy, right? I know it takes courage. And you know you're walking towards pain, towards fears, towards uncertainty, not going away, right? Who said that she finds the truth, right? She finds the truth in the moment. I think if you didn't, that's what I think. May you continue to feel assured in what you do and all that you have to offer. I feel in you this solidness and presence, this real ministerial presence. And you're finding that truth even when it's complex in the moment, and not going away from that either, going toward it, raising it up. But find that mystery and joy and divinity that's always there in every room we walk in, right? May you still find it. And may it still refresh you and give you a kick and make you feel like keep wanting to get up and do this each day, right? These words seem fitting from Reverend Karen G. Johnston. We bring ourselves to those who have lost things. We offer our deep company to those whose future has seemed to dissolve. And ever so tenderly, ever so gently, we hold the possibility of hope and resilience. We bring our presence to dear ones living in a desolate landscape, that our compassion and kindness might sustain them, that our compassion and kindness might sustain them in this beautiful and aching world. This is the calling, right? This is the path you have been and are on, and you said yes to, dear Reverend. Yeah, nothing less. And it's an awesome thing to behold. I even feel it when we're in Zoom meetings together, right? So may your ministry sustain you and bring you great joy and meaning in your life for years to come, as it does with all of us who are around you. So, welcome, Reverend. Yes. So, Kate.
Come step onto sacred ground, not because we make it sacred by our stepping, but because we all stand on holy ground. Pray with me now. With all creation, we stand grounded deep into the earth that sustains us. Like trees rooted solidly, reaching up, out, with limbs, hearts, senses, toward rain and sun, branching toward one another, supported and being supported in what sometimes seems like thin air. Like an aspen grove, we breathe, grow, quake together, one organism of many and disparate parts, yet living together. Here now, we lift up this Elizabeth, this one among us, dedicate her to ministry, to service of presence and healing. We call her Reverend because she will be our professional reverer. Her mandate is Tikkun Olam, to heal the world. Let us now anoint Reverend Elizabeth Shuba with our very breath. Our breath which we borrow not from ourselves alone, but from that fragile grace and ineffable love in which not a single soul nor atom is ever lost. Amen.
One of the outward marks of an ordained minister in our tradition is the stole. And it's traditionally given as a gift from the congregation. And Elizabeth and I have been friends for many, many years. And it's amazing that we're chaplains together, and I'm so honored that you asked me to present you with this stole.
Oh, it's about to get real. I mean, it's been real, but.
Hello to you all. I'm Reverend Sage Olnick, UU Community Minister, Affiliate Community Minister of the First UU of Berks County, grateful friend of this congregation, and other than her beloved family, the biggest fan of Elizabeth. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm absolutely honored to be a part of this ceremony. And this, the ordination day of the Reverend Elizabeth Haralam Shuba, and ooh, does that feel so good to say.
It's all right.
Shuba, we met at Lancaster General Hospital quite a few years ago. You were a clinical pastoral education student, and I was one of the staff chaplains. We had an instant connection. I believe this instant connection originated through our shared Unitarian Universalist faith. I'm also confident it was born of our general awesomeness and fashion sense, but I digress. I vividly remember walking with you down the hospital hallway, and I know there's a lot of Lancaster General people in the room, so I think you can imagine this between the staff elevators and the visitor elevators. And on that day and on that walk, you said out loud that you realized you were called to ordained ministry. You were certain and also taken aback by the gravity of such an awareness. Since then, we have worked together and served together in various capacities, and you've become a dear and treasured friend. I've loved being a part of your ministerial formation and journey to this day. We've grown together in our own ministerial identities, and I've watched you grow in your understanding and commitment to live out this wild and wondrous calling. To ask hard questions, to dismantle it all until equity is real and everyone really belongs. To form and recognize the interconnectedness in the stories of our lives and all of those we encounter in our work. And in your words, to minister in these sacred spaces inhabited by grief, gratitude, humility, love, and hope. What a time to become a minister. What a time to be formed into a minister. And as I know you've heard before, this ministry so desperately wants and needs you. This ministry, our shared ministry, what an incredible, powerful ministry you have been doing and will continue to do. And today I have the privilege to be the first to officially welcome you into the circle of ministerial colleagues. Those of us gathered here in the sanctuary and via Zoom, all of your interfaith colleagues and professional religious folks here, and also those who have come before us, those brave souls who have carved out a way for us, and for those yet to come. Those who heard the universe say, "Whom shall I send?" those of us who said, "Send me, send us." We, your colleagues, are here to be a source of support and also accountability. We will be here on the day, let's face it, the weeks and the months that aren't easy, on the days that you need an ear and a friend, because the path of ministry is not smooth, it's not easy, or even known. So call upon us when you need reminded of how amazing you are and how amazing your ministry is in this world. And know that we will be calling on you when we need a source of support and accountability, because ministry does not and cannot happen in isolation. As Rev. Pat said before we started, ministry is what we do together. Keep being the blessing that you are and keep loving the hell out of this world. Reverend Elizabeth Haralam Shuba, on behalf of all of your ministerial colleagues, we recognize and honor your authority and your ministry. And I joyfully extend to you not just a hand, but all that is the beauty and community of ministerial fellowship. I love you.
Is it my turn? Oh, God. I should have figured this out before. I can't see. This is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I thought, but it's bigger. Isn't it wonderful to have something to celebrate? Yay, us. As many have intimated before I stood up here, today's a special day. And I wonder if you know how special our ordination is. Not just because you are honoring my transition to clergy, not even because you believe in me to be a steward of our mission in the world. To be a lifelong UU is rare. To be ordained by the UU congregation in which one was raised is rarer still. Thank you. I came to this church when I was a child. Thanks, Mom. Having been raised here, Unitarian Universalism has been baked into me on a granular level. You can laugh about that pun later. Baked, okay, raised, whatever. Unitarian Universalism is the primary lens through which I see the world. You did that, and I am forever grateful. I have always taken very seriously my responsibility to the interconnected web of existence. And it was only through the latter part of my ministerial formation that I have come to understand the possibility of the bounty that can be returned from the web. You are that bounty. I am so grateful to my children and my husband for agreeing without missing a beat to deliver the sermon. You may note that there wasn't anybody in the pulpit, and that is because I am a community minister. My ministry is on the ground. To those who flew or drove miles to be here without being asked, to those closest to me, to the ministers on the stage, to those among you in the congregation, Learning to allow people to walk with me, hold me, and sometimes even carry me was the hardest and most profound element of my process. Thank you. My heart is so full by the many faces I see and the more I know are watching and those who will be watching later. To have the best part of one's self be reflected in the eyes of those you meet, well, it's whatever is bigger than validating. Thank you for seeing me. Truly, I am the luckiest, and I love you all so very, very big. I'd like to call my parents back up to extinguish the chalice as I offer this benediction. You don't need a microphone this time, you just have to go. Spirit of love and justice, we come to you with our hearts broken wide open. For we know that it is only from this place of vulnerability that we can truly strive to change the world into a more loving and just place. It can be painful, but this open-heartedness, may we be so committed to our earthly call that we honor the discomfort as part of the pathway to shalom. Shalom being the Hebrew word for peace, harmony, wholeness, completedness, prosperity, welfare, and tranquility. May the flame continue to burn in our hearts long after the chalice is out, that it will be the heat we need to live our lives in love. May it fuel our action toward justice. May this internal flame empower the prophetic voice which lives in us all. May it bring the peace of understanding that this living, this being relational in the world around us, with those we meet, the deeper part of ourselves, is good, hard work. It asks us to give without requiring reciprocity, but in hope of connection. Let us stay connected, for we need each other to survive. Blessed be. Please vote on Tuesday with a loving heart. Ashe, Shalom, and Amen.
These things that I've been told can rearrange my world, my doubt in time, but inside out. This is the working hour. We are paid for those who learn by our mistakes. This is the working hour. We are paid by those who learn from our mistakes. Hey. this day and age, for all and not for one. All lies and secrets put on and on. This is the working hour. We are paid by those who learn by our mistakes. This is the working hour. We are paid by those who learn from our mistakes. Find out what this fear is about. Find out what this fear is about. Find out what this fear is about. What this fear is about. What this fear is about. Thank you.